In this video, I'll explain you how to increase stock items cost for the additional expenses incurred. It can be recorded in two ways, through invoice received or additional expenses. The first way is for the cases where the additional expenses are related to the invoice received and cost has to be allocated to the items added in the inventory tab of the invoice received documents. Second way has to be used firstly when the supplier of the item is different from the supplier from whom the expenses are incurred. Secondly, the expenses are incurred at a later date than the invoice received. Thirdly, when the cost has to be allocated to the items recorded in various invoice received documents. Let me show you an invoice received document with such scenario. Go to Purchasing module, open Invoice Received Documents. I will use an existing invoice received document for this explanation. You may refer the video Purchase of Items for detailed explanation. In this example, you will need to fill in the inventory item and the expenses under the Expenses tab. The inventory item is already filled. We will add the expenses incurred in this invoice receipt. Click on Add to add the expenses. Enable the option Include Expenses in Cost Price in the Expenses tab to distribute the amount of expenses on the cost of purchase item. In the Inventory tab, allocate the expenses based on the two ways, that is by amount or quantity. In this example, I'll use quantity. The expenses are allocated to the item here. Once done, post the document to have the expenses added to the cost of the item. You can refer the report Balance of Inventory from Purchasing module to see the change in the cost price. The item cost was 120. It has changed to 128.33. Now let me show you an example of the second way, that is creation of additional expense document. Go to Purchasing module, open Additional Expense document. You'll find the list of additional expense documents over here. Click on Create to create a new document. Fill in the main page with the required details and make sure to keep the transaction type for purchase. In the Expense tab, add the expenses incurred and which need to be added to the cost of item. In Inventory tab, fill in the documents of the invoice received and the list of the items to which the costs need to be allocated. To add the inventory, click on Pick by Documents option. Enable the option Show Inventory selected from the current documents to have the items shown separately. Click on Pick option and choose the document type. For this example, we'll use Invoice Received. Choose the document, click on Select and close the page. At the bottom part of the form, click on Fill by Current Documents or by All Documents to have the list of items appear here. Click on OK once the items are selected and filled. Click on Distribute Expense option to distribute the expenses based on quantity or amount. In this example, I'll use quantity. You can refer the report Balance of Inventory to see the effect of this document in the cost of this item. Go to Balance of Inventory. The earlier average cost price was 128. After posting the additional expense document, the balance of inventories average cost price changes to 136.67. Thank you for watching the video.